Pleasure, pleasure. Yeah, how are you doing today? You been up to much?
Yeah, I've been working on the next tour poster, so it's done. So I'm fine,
Okay, okay. It sounds like a lot of work.
kind of.
Is that what does an average day kind of look like for you? Outside of when you've got to do big things like that, an average day, what do you kind of get up to?
Um, this is pretty chaotic, to be honest. Like there are some sometimes where you have so much work that you don't have time for yourself,
Mm,
especially when you have to send the final master for the album, for example.
mm.
And sometimes you just do nothing for a few weeks. So right now I'm doing as much work as I can before we leave for the Asia tour that we're doing at the end of the month.
Mm.
So I'm in a bit I'm in a rush for now. So yeah, um, there is no routine in our life. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Do you have a preference though? Do you as a person, do you need to be busy or can you actually take moments to sit back and relax and just not do
Hmm.
anything?
Uh, I'm I'm a really stressful person, so I don't feel that great when I have too much work to do. But I'm fine with the work when I don't feel like I have a deadline. Like when we are on tour and we're basically working 24/7 for a full month, but
Hmm.
it doesn't feel like work. So it depends. Yeah.
So being on tour perhaps is sometimes where you find yourself most relaxed.
I wouldn't say that because it's stressful too, but I'm with my friends, my best friends actually, and we are like on a road trip, so it's the
Mm.
best times, yeah.
Yeah, of course, of course. There's still a point that you've still got a job to do there. And while it may not feel like a job, it's important. Obviously, you want to put the best performances on and make sure the
Yeah.
crowds go home very, very happy. But at this stage, having done so many tours, does it all come a lot more naturally? Do you feel a lot more comfortable regardless of where you're playing?
Um, do you mean since we did a few tours, right?
Yeah, well, with so many tours under your belt, like you've done plenty to this point, so you're a lot more. It seems like you should be a lot more well used to it.
Actually, we didn't make that many tour.
Mm?
We like our first real tour was in February this year.
Yeah,
It was with Set It Off, and it was a European tour.
yeah.
And yeah, we can already feel the difference between the last show and the first one of the same tour. We
Mm.
are a totally different band. But yeah, there is always some new problems to face, and so we are always learning, but we are way more confident that we were earlier this year.
Oh, so you really feel like you learned a lot on that tour.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Of course, you were over here as well to the UK during that period as well. Sum up the UK side of it specifically. What was so enjoyable about playing in the UK?
The crowd was amazing in the UK. The best one
Mm.
from what we've seen for now. Yeah, everybody was so active in the crowd, the hands up in the air and everybody's jumping, and yeah, that was the best part.
I'm glad. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad the UK did not let you down. Because obviously, when you come back, you want it to be even bigger and bolder. Because we are in the month of June now, which means come the end of this month, your brand new album will be out.
Yeah.
Where is your head at with it right now? Are you kind of still enjoying the ride, or do you just want it out?
Actually, since we've sent the masters, uh, we didn't compose anything new yet. So we are taking a break writing a new song, from writing new songs for now. But we already have like 12 or 13 demos that
Hmm.
we keep we keep waiting until we come back from the tour and yeah I feel I can't wait to release the album, but I cannot listen to it for now because I listen to it too much because we do our own mixes and mastering.
Hmm.
So I'm I cannot listen to the tracks anymore.
I completely, that happens a lot, I think, where you kind of just need to step away for a while.
Yeah.
Perhaps when it's right at the release point or release day, maybe then I guess maybe it'll feel. Do you have a plan for release day? Maybe you're going to get together or listen to it together, that kind of thing.
Mm, actually, we don't because we will be in a rush because we come back from Japan on the 26th
Mm.
and we go back to Paris for a festival with Northlane and Novelist on the 28th. So we're gonna have a
Sleep.
really short period of time where we're gonna have to do I think a lot of work because the release is so much work like uh, on social medias especially and and yeah so we don't know yet but we will be together for sure and maybe
That.
we'll do a great restaurant like to make a party out of it.
Yeah, whatever you can do. Because I mean, of course, flying back from Japan, doing a festival the next day in France, sleep's going to be such an important part of that as well. You're going to
Yeah,
need to rest.
and we can have that time difference
Of
because Japan
course.
is like 8 hours uh, earlier than us, I think. So yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna get that jet lag. Fingers crossed, whatever you end up being able to do. I just hope it's good for you all as a group. Of course, June 27th via Fearless Records, End of Time. What does it mean to you to release this record?
I mean it's the first album that we release
Mm,
with this label and with this music genre, like the new metal thing, because before that we were more into synth pop kind of sound. Um, it feels like an achievement of the last 2 years of work.
mm,
So and we never prepared the release that much before, like all the interviews we're doing, all the preparation and yeah, I feel that this release will be really important for us, and I hope so. I hope that um, it will make us do even more shows and grab a new fans and etc. So I'm really excited.
I mean, response to the singles alone, like if we want a barometer, an early idea of what people are going to be feeling and thinking when they hear the full thing, the response to the singles has been fabulous, absolutely
Yeah.
fabulous. Does that go some ways to kind of ease your mind as to how you feel the full album might be received?
Um, I don't really know because the releases and how the people um, listen to the track and how the people find the new tracks are pretty random, I would say,
Mm.
because it all depends on how the TikToks are are growing on social medias and TikToks and Reels and stuff like that. So, but I'm pretty confident we have a pretty good amount of pre-save for the album already.
Mhm.
So it should be fine. And Fearless Records are doing all they can for the album to pop. So
There's so much that goes into it to get that attention on you to put this album, these songs into people's ears. Some of it is, algorithm based, but there's also a certain level of luck for a person who might maybe stumble across a track through a who knows what way. But either way, you're building on a great 2024. I mean, a staggeringly good 2024. I think you know that as well. That was an incredible year for TSS. Um,
Yeah.
does that make you feel any pressure as to like better 2025 must be so much better?
I mean, 2025 is already better than 2024 because we got our first European tour. We are doing our first Asia tour later this month, and we will announce in a few days our first headline European tour that's
Hmm.
coming at the end of the year. So 2025 is already better than 2024. But my concern is that I hope that 2026 will be even better, or at least um, as good as 2025 for TSS. Yeah.
Always looking forward. Success is measured in such unusual ways as well, different ways these days. You know, we can look at streaming figures and numbers and all of that, social media numbers. Is it fair to say that you measure success on the sort of tours that you're doing based off, you know, what you've just said there?
Yeah, tours are like the achievements of what you've been working for. So you can see the real people react in real time on what you're doing, and it's like I had this kind of weird feeling that all we are putting on internet is kind of fake because we are working on it for a few months and we polish everything we publish, you know? But
Mm.
once you're on the stage, you cannot lie. And if people like what they see on stage, then it means that you're not a fake and you're doing a good job. So that's rewarding.
You feel a strong connection when you're on stage with the crowd.
Yeah. We we've always been amazed by how people react to TSS. And even the other crew members, like um, I would say the members of the crew of Set It Off and Point North were really impressed by our first tour experience,
Mm.
and that was so meaningful for us.
It's fabulous, right? Just getting that praise or you know whatever it might be from not just from people in the audience but those the peers and contemporaries around you it's
Yeah,
very cool.
yeah,
um
oh, sorry, sorry.
so go on, no good, no, please go.
Like when you impress someone that's working in the industry and who knows how it works behind it's like 10 times more rewarding than to impress someone who doesn't know music, even if it's important, you know, it's different. Yeah,
Oh yeah, because one of the you know what, one of the most amazing things, and you can kind of get this vibe just by looking into your sort of social media comments, particularly in YouTube videos and things like that, that a lot of people are actually discovering you for the first time over the
Mm,
past year, the new
yeah,
songs, and that's. Are you noticing that, like going back to the tour, are you noticing that as well from a live perspective? As the shows went on, that you were seeing like more faces, people who were coming up to you and after and saying, "Oh, this is the first time I've ever saw you."
yeah. um we've made a lot of new fans during the Set It Off tour,
Hmm.
and we've come back to Netherlands and to Germany earlier this month, and we've met a lot of people saying, "Hey, I've discovered you during the Set It Off tour," and then here we are, and that's really great. That's a great feeling because you convince them by you convince them to listen to you and to stick with you,
I
and
mean,
yeah,
it just is, isn't it? And I mean, that tour was such an extensive tour as well. I mean, it ended with what? It was two shows at the in London, my home city, Electric
yeah,
Ballroom, two shows there as well, because I
yeah,
was at the one on the 1st of March as well, and it was incredible.
yeah. Yeah, that was insane.
Going back to the record, the new album, of course, did you have a clear vision at the sort of beginning of its creation? Did you have a clear vision of what you wanted to do?
No,
Mm.
actually, the album was um, at start the gathering of the singles we've written and that we liked the most.
Yep.
Um, Obviously, when we knew that we will make a record out of it, um, we were like, okay, so that's the track that we're keeping for the album, and now what are we missing?
Mm.
And we tried to find not especially a story, but the different kind of energy that we wanted to put in the album. Like we had our um, live show optimized, I would say, song, which was something in the way because the the chorus are really jumpy and there is this heavy breakdown at the end, which is really great for a live performance. We had actually a few radio songs, like
Hmm.
the one we will do music video on and that we will promote the most on social medias. And we're like, okay, now we can be a little bit more experimental and we can add the energy that we're missing. And so that's how we've created the rest of the album, I would say. Like there is this really violent track that we have already released
Hmm.
called Ending Scene. And right behind this track in the album, there is the softest track we've ever write, which is called So Long My Friend. And yeah, so we there is a common theme throughout the whole album. I mean, for the lyrics, which is the end of something. That's why the album is called End of Time, because
Hmm.
every song is talking about the end of a relationship, the end of the fame, the end of life, the end um, of a love. So yeah,
So when you're building the rest of the album, you because you said you have these singles and you're putting them in there, and you know you need to flesh it out, whatever you want to use, whatever term you want to use. You've got to make it a full thing, and you're discovering these ideas and you're bouncing them off. The direction for TSS, how clear was that then? Like particularly in regards to the sound. Obviously, your evolving sound is such an important part of who you are now. Did you find yourself in control of that sound? Did you feel like you were in control of what you were doing?
yeah, yeah. So actually, so as I said earlier, we were like a synthwave pop
Hmm.
band before, and we were singing only in French. And one day I woke up with this idea that I wanted to create a heavy song, a heavy a metal song,
Hmm.
and like just to have fun because we didn't have that idea that we will go back to the roots and to the metal as an artistical direction. But I write it Tippler, which is uh, the last song that we've released before the album.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, before we've decided to keep the tracks for the album, I would say.
Hmm.
And the band were really enjoying that track, and we were like, okay, so maybe we are better doing metal, so we should focus on that. And the fans seems to to like the metal TSS more because
Hmm.
when we've released Fantasize and then Will You Be My Therapy, we've noticed a big bump on the statistics. And so we were like, okay, new metal is the thing. We will keep that direction. And it felt great because that's what we are deep inside. That's We all grew up with metal and new metal, so maybe it sounds a bit more uh, sincere. I don't know if
Mm,
that's the word. Um, and so yeah, the only obligation that we had was to follow that new metal line. But beside that, we were like experimenting with a few different music style,
mm,
like funk, for example, or hyperpop.
hmm.
Um, because I hate doing the same thing twice, so we have to find new sounds to put into our tracks. But we didn't find it restrictive. We were like having fun doing stuff, and that's it.
There's there are no lines in the sand when it comes to experimentation as far as TSS goes. Sure, you
Yeah,
might have a core idea and it might be based in metal, as you say, but what that means and how you transform that is entirely up to you guys, right?
yeah. We just try to keep to stick with the new metal, but all the rest we're experimenting with.
And the album reflects that it is a varied, very listening, fascinating from beginning to end. A lot of tracks people already be familiar with, but there's a lot of really special stuff there elsewhere that people are going to hear for the first time. And it's fantastic. It seems like you had a lot of fun overall creating what you've created here. You said the word fun yourself. I'm going to add it too. When you reflect on the entire creative process of this new record, what are some of your favorite memories?
Um, maybe the writing process of ending scene was the most fun because usually I mean all the band lives in Bordeaux, the French famous city,
Hmm.
but I live 4 hour drives away from them. So we are working from our respective home.
Hmm.
And usually I send some instrumentals and Kirby create vocals on it, or sometimes Kirby creates some vocals on like type beats, and then I write the instrumentals behind. And for ending scene, we were together in a big house that we've rented for a few weeks, and that was a big swimming pool and a jacuzzi and stuff like that. So it felt like I don't know how to say that, but it
A
felt great. And we've
holiday?
been working on new tracks. Actually, it was the main goal was to compose and to create,
Hmm.
but we've spent most of our time having fun. Uh, and yeah, so we've made ending scene during that period of time, and so it has a special flavor for me.
That's got to be important though, right? I mean, when you do see each other, when you do meet up in these scenarios and you spend this time together to not compose, to someone's just sit back and enjoy each other's company, right? Because otherwise,
Yeah.
it might feel like every time you meet, you're only meeting because you got to make some music, right? Of
Um, recently we've mainly met because of the work we have to do,
course.
um, like shooting music videos or going on tour. But yeah, we are friends before being bandmates, so
It's very important, of course.
yeah, it's always good quality of time.
And while like music videos and tours and all that is an incredible thing to do, it's cool just to relax and have some fun sometimes.
Mm.
People will have, from a listener perspective, people will have fun with this record as well. While there is a lot of emotion, a lot of thought-provoking stuff, and a lot of things people can connect to, there's also ways to have fun, e.g., make your body move. What do you hope listeners take away from this record?
Mm, I hope that the song will stick with them. Like, I, I didn't write the song to be like easy to listen to and easy to forget. Like, I hope that the song will grow for people who are listening to them. And I hope that they will feel something different that they never felt before, even if it's pretty pretentious to say that, but I really hope that, I don't know, people will put their headphones and listen to TSS on road trips or late
Mm.
at night.
I hope so too. Finally, what is it about TSS? Because one of the most fascinating things is just to study, the ins and outs of the band from a listener perspective. In that,
Mhm.
how many people from across the world, from different walks of life, love you. You appeal to them. So, what it is about TSS do you think that appeals to so many different people from so many different walks of life?
Hmm. Um, I think that we've succeeded in creating songs that are not too niche and too hard to get into because we want to keep that radio kind of thing, you know.
Hmm.
Um, but we've been working so hard on our image and aesthetic, so I think that's something that's um, convincing people who don't know us to dig into TSS. And what else? I don't know. Maybe we are trying to create something new, and we usually don't follow recipes. So I hope that people find something fresh in TSS.
Well put. I love that. I wanna add from my perspective sincerity. I believe you for what and I believe you I believe in what you do and I believe you. I find you as a group and as a band very relatable and honest. And I think that's another major part of why people appeal. But of course, everybody's got their thing. And long may it continue as this album comes out and those tours continue. And I hope the gap in between coming from Japan to France is comforting enough that you're able to enjoy that release day, whatever you do. I thank you so much for taking the
Thank
time
you.
to speak with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.